Yep, let's go. So now I've put it to 4 hours. We're trying to have a closer look. We're trying to see now if, okay, as this thing, is this thing actually ready to start going up? Is this thing ready to start making the move that we're looking at? So let me put it back in 1 day. And the reason why I want to do that is I want to show us where exactly. Okay, so all right. So the previous swing low was from here. I'm gonna pick from here to this point here. So this is the lowest price I'd come in recent time, in about since about 11th of June. So we're believing that since that 11th of June, even though price had gone up and down, it's never gonna break this place. We're beginning to go up. That this whole thing happening here is because we're ready to go up. Okay, so let me put it back to the 4 hours. All right, good. So you see that swing, that huge swing low, okay? That huge swing low, let me minimize this. That swing low we see on the daily is from here to here, and we can see what had happened clearly now. If you look at this area, let's look at this area, guys. If you look at this area, I can make that a little bit faint, but if you can see it, I might not have to. But if you look at this old place that I put in purple, right, you can see that this point it made is lower than this high point it made before it came down. Where it came down here is not as high as where it came down here. So we're saying that as this thing is going up now, where it's going to get up to will be higher than where it started falling from previously. Okay, so let me take that off. So that's the main part we want to analyze now. We already established that from this point here, we already established that from this point here, price should, let me take my magnet off. My magnet is making it sticky to an entry point. Here we're saying price should at least come here first. When it breaks this points here, then we should start to go up. But this is our first target. And where did it first come? It came here. It came down back to the support. The sellers could not break this support here. And what did they do? It made a higher high. Then they tried to test it again. They couldn't test the previous low level that they were. So we want to draw our support here. We want to draw a new support here on this 4 hours time frame so that we can know where to enter this trade. Okay, that is the point of this second half, to answer questions and to know when to get into this trade for this swing buy. So this is the first wave right here. We see the second wave. We're expecting a third wave from somewhere here. We're expecting that, is this thing a buy now? We should be looking at something like this. Okay, so good. Let's zoom in. Let me zoom back in. So this is what we see. All right, good. So this first half is this second half from here. Price did what? Price came down from this point here, broke all this low, right? And came here as a floor. We see that it made like about 3 touches. I'm going to take off the volume. Let me take the volume off. So all we see is the chart and what happened. So this is last week. This is 2 weeks ago. Let's now connect the pivot points. Okay, so I'm going to connect the pivot eye. This is how I trade. From this pivot eye point here, let me put my magnet so that it sticks it to the right point. Okay, from this point here to this other pivot low, that's where I'm connecting. Let me put it all the way like this. Let me put it all the way like this. So ideally for me to get into this trade to buy it up, is what I will be looking at. Even though I want to buy this, I want to get into this buy, I will be looking for this line to be broken. Let me make it a dash. Okay, let me make this a dash. All right, good. So I'll be looking for this to be broken. When this is broken, then we'll be looking to test this all the way here. And what will I do also? What I would do additionally is I'll put an alert here because I want to watch it. I want to watch this thing. So I'll put an alert for the next, let me put an alert for the whole week actually. Let me put an alert up until Friday. Create. So I want to see this broken ideally before I get into my buy towards here. And part of the reasons I want to do that is because I believe this is at a floor. I can additionally buy from here, but we'll see if we want to do that. But already looking at it now, that is the first thing I see. And also because that point would be, let's bring out my Fibonacci. From this swing here, from this swing high, okay, to the lowest point it came is around here. We're looking at the first level around this point, my golden ratio. We're looking at buying towards there. Now we're in 4 hours. We're picking our levels. Okay, so this will be a point where we want to buy to. So once that is broken, the first target will be here. And you guys, if you've been following already, you know the way I got that target is just the golden ratio Fibonacci from my swing high to my swing low. Where is it going to retrace to? I believe it's going to retrace towards my golden ratio. And that is where I mark my thing. Does it always work? No. But does it work most of the time? Absolutely. If you're risking little to earn well, if you get in such a trade, you'll make a good profit. So what I'm saying is, if this line is broken, we want to test here first. When we test this place first, why do I think that place is a little bit strong as well? Another reason I feel that place is strong is, let's see here, what happened here. That place was a support here, was a support around here. Then that's where it bounced up. When this got broken, it made it a resistance. When it made it a resistance, that's where it started falling from. So we're looking towards here again, being either the resistance which it will test. When it tests here, if it doesn't break it, then we'll come back and test this line before going back up. What I'm saying will look something like this. When we break here, we might have something looking like this. Test here, we're not able to break it. Come back to test this trend line again before finally starting its journey up. But those we will see. We just want to know what we want to do with USDZAR for the week. So we want it to break here. When it breaks here, we want to target this place first. That's what we see on the 4 hours. Another thing I want to check on the 4 hours is this. Let's check the support level. So on the support level, on the same pivot low to the next pivot low, I'll make that solid. I'm not trying to, I don't think we're going down. Actually, I can leave it. That if this is broken, if this dashed white line is broken, it means that we might want to test. It means that we might want to test this floor one more time. Precisely this trend line. I want to test this area one more time before going up. So our trade will be a little bit of a waiting game looking at the 4 hours. That doesn't mean we won't enter. We're in a buy bias on a general distance, but that doesn't mean that from here, if this trend line here is broken, which would be the continuation of this pivot points, instead of making here, it becomes a lower low. So maybe from here, test it, and then from there is where we're going to buy back up. But we are in a buy. Where we will get in is what we're trying to analyze. So, okay, good. So that's what I say in the 4 hours, right? Okay, another thing I want to check in 4 hours is this. From this pivots here, from this my particular pivots, we want to see what had happened. I bring out my fibs again from this swing high to this swing low. Okay, what happened? I see that price broke my golden ratio here. Okay, we can go have a closer look at that in 1 hour. We're trying to get into the trade right now. That's what we're trying to do. I'm going to check the moment, the volume as well. Let me check the volume before I take it to 1 hour. So let's check the volume in 4 hours real quick. With time, you guys understand how what my strategy really looks like. So in 4 hours, we can see what had happened. There was a huge sell before the closing 4 hours, but the closing 4 hour closed in a buy. You know, before that huge sell, we had another green candle. So we can tell that even though this is not a big volume as much as this other red one, but we had a little of a volume which is held by the buyers. The buyers are still the one who are the majority. It's green because in that 4 hour time frame, buyers are still the one who are the majority of the volume. And that volume was almost as much, was about half as much as this red candle that we see here. So that is a sign of reversal, one. And secondly, this swing high to low, this was broken here. It was broken all the way here before coming back. And let me draw the line right there. I'm going to use a line this time around. This is my golden ratio, 16.8433. Okay, so that's where we expected to be our resistance, right? You can see that level here. That level is where it's cut off up here. That level we had reaction up here. So what had happened is this. Two things now, okay? There's a possible head and shoulder pattern that could be formed. This is what head and shoulder pattern will look like, and that's why this is where will be that's why we're not getting into the trade just yet. Let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to head and shoulder. Let's say this is the floor right here. We have a floor around here. Okay, we have a floor around here. Let me take that volume off so we see clearly. We have a floor around there. Let me take this Fibonacci off too, because we already saw what the Fibonacci was doing there. So we have a floor here. This is my head and shoulder tool. Price bounced from this low here to this point. Okay, came back to this point here. We have a good left shoulder. Price came here as the head. Came back to this point here. Okay, and then price is here now. We're expecting that for this to be a good head and shoulder, maybe this thing will drop and then we'll come back and test this line here. Let me make this thing a full. What am I doing? Deleting that. I'm deleting this so guys just okay. 1 second. I've drawn all sort of nonsense on this chart. Okay, good. So let me bring back my head and shoulder. So from here, actually we can say from here to this point. Let me make this my head. Okay, to god damn. Oh my god. Okay, from here to here to here. This is my head right here, and we're about to find the shoulder. If this is going to be the left shoulder, which you can see correlates to where the left, it is going to be the right shoulder. You can see that correlates to where the left shoulder is, guys. So if this would not stop, we're expecting that it should come and complete this thing on the trend line or on the previous support, which would just be something like, we're expecting something like this. So that's a possibility, and that's why we want to either buy above here or wait for this place to be tested again and then buy back up. But that does not mean it's going to play out. It could outrightly stop because we are already around here. It dipped. Okay, so bring out your Fibonacci again. Let's bring Fibonacci from this particular swing, from this swing low to this swing high. Where is price right now? If anyone can tell me, where is price reacting already? I don't even need to show anyone. Already, where is price reacting? On a 4 hour, price is reacting right here. Price is reacting at 0.618. It dropped right to this point. You see the golden ratio at work again. So let me draw a level around there. If I'm going to draw a level around here, okay, that seems to be a good level of support. Why is that? Because if we check towards the back, we see that price, there was reaction here, there was reaction there. So if you want to buy now and you just want to lower your risk, you can buy now, you can get in now and put your risk to reward will look something like this. It might just be close to a 50 to 50 if you're targeting this point first. But if you think we're ready to break, okay, so what I'm saying is this: we might be ready for a buy now. If we're buying to this place first. From here, if that gets broken, we're buying to this level first. Next, and once we break this level, that has my arrow and the dashed white line, once we break that level, then we know that, oh, okay, we can have a nice swing run to this place. But until then, we might just want to get into this thing as a okay, let me take what I can take and go. And that is not bad. That's still equal to profit. However, if this is broken at the base, if this is broken if this is broken at the base, then we're looking to sell back to this support. So let's look for anything else we might find. Let's see if we can find another pattern that is close. So this is last week. This is this week that finished yesterday, Friday. The thing is not quite accurate because of I drew it from the weekly basis. So all right. So this is the previous week. This is the week that followed it. This is around where we are now. We're looking for a buy, and let's see. Do we have a pattern? The only pattern that I see here is a possible head and shoulder, and that's the structure that we've set. So if that would be a head or shoulder, and we're saying it might want to do that, then you want to watch for this to be broken. If this is broken, then you know we're coming to test it. However, if that is not the case, what we're looking for right now is a buy. Where will be my first target? My first target will be here because there's a resistance around there that we drew from the monthly. The second place would be towards this trend line. And ultimately, before we get a reaction that is compelling, it could be around here. We could be having a target around there, but I won't put my target there. I would rather put my target just by where it started to fall the previous time. Started falling from here, so we can target something like this for the coming week. Let's see how far this thing moves. I think this USDZAR is a good pair for money making. I've traded it once when I was not such a pro, and I'm still not a pro, but I've traded it once when I didn't have as much experience, and man, I risked so much and it burnt me. But this time, what we want to do is, if you want to get into this right now, on a risk to reward, we're in a long position. On a risk to reward, one of our trades will look something like this. I'm still going to take it to 1 hour to see maybe we can find a better entry. Okay. So one of my trades will look something like this. I'm saying that this will not be broken. So I want to buy straight away. I can reduce my risk to right here, saying that this particular low will not be broken, and I'm coming up here. If that's the case, then I'm going to buy up here and then up here. But on a risk to reward, I'm not a big fan of where it is right now. But let me go check it in 1 hour and see if I can pick a better this thing. But we already know that we are at the support here. And I like where it is. I think it's a good place to buy, considering the general consensus being buy. But let's put it in 1 hour. Let's put it in 1 hour and see. Okay, so in 1 hour, all right. Let me put the volume back so we can have an idea of what the buyers and sellers were doing. Okay, so in 1 hour, in the last 1 hour, of course, there were not so many people in the market, but you can see the sellers ended up winning, but the volume was so low compared to the previous one. This is a blue candle. The buyers, there were more buyers in the market before then. They reversed it here. The sellers are giving up here. So from here, we might actually be ready for a buy from this point here, depending on what the dollar index looks like. The dollar index looks like it might be ready to buy. But wait, let's see something else. Let's see something else. So this is my previous pivot high, right? This is my previous pivot high. My pivot high from here to this point here. Let's draw a trend line. Let me draw a trend line. I'll make that trend line solid. I'll make that trend line solid because that's not what I'm really watching for. So I'll make this trend line solid. I also have another trend line for the resistance at the bottom here. And okay, good. So if you want to buy right now, okay, you can buy and put your stop loss just below here, and we'll be looking to buy towards here first, which is some really good amount of pips. And then if this is broken, we test here, and then on and on and on. But we're in a buy for this trade, and this is what I kind of see. Let me connect this volume, take it off. Let me connect this. This is the previous low before this swing to this point, and this is the new low that it made. So we're still looking towards, yeah. So that's it about USDZAR. I think we are at a support level around here. I think this is a good support level. We are seeing all this noise all this noise. This is a good, oh, what am I doing? Okay, this is the tool I'm looking for. So we see all this. We see the noise around here, all these places, this area. So we see the noise around here, which means that from that point on, two things can happen. Either we're having a huge momentum down, same way it's happened when we saw noise around here and boom. When we saw noise around here, boom. When we saw noise around here, boom. When we saw noise around here, boom. Right? So when noise like this happens, we should be ready for a movement. So the gathering, they call it accumulation in some cases. I mean, it's just that we will see a good momentum pretty soon. Some people will give up, some people will be sucked into it, some people will suddenly pump in money, some big boys can change the direction against what we're looking at. But yeah, that's all that gives us a sense of what is happening, where do we want to go to. So that's what I see in 1 hour. In 1 hour, I think we should get ready to buy this pair. I think if you want to get in a buy, you might just want to wait to see when what happens on Monday when we start to get more volume when the US market opens. Or let me put it in 15 minutes and even have a closer look. Let's have a closer look. Maybe we'll see something different in 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, all right, even better, more confirmation for my buy. Okay, so I will take this thing off now. So we see what had happened. So looking at this particular swing low that swung up onto this support. Now we are at this support. The same way we checked this big support on a daily. We are at this support now. Look at this support, right? This is my previous pivot low. This is the next pivot low. The next pivot low is higher than the previous one. So what I'm saying is this. This is what had happened. Okay. This is what had happened. So from this point, price came here. From that point there, price came here. And this place was higher than here where it started. And from here, price came here. This place was higher than where it started. And from here, price came here. This place is higher than where it was before. So what I'm saying is when this thing goes, you can see that it went up here, it came down. If this does not break this previous down, if it doesn't break this previous down, then we should get another up and on and on and on till we fill up that space towards this golden ratio. So I also have another confirmation down there on the 15 minutes that, okay, cool, we might just be ready for a buy, and I will want to place my supports. Let me see. Let me give us my exact trade for USDZAR in case that is what I will be looking at. And you know, guys, I'm not exactly like a financial advisor or anything. These are just the way I mark my trades. This is what I look at when I need to get in a trade. And truth be told, we don't need to trade every day. You can see that this trend line, it has almost filled up. Let me touch it for the time. Good. So check 1, 2, the third time it seemed to have touched this and then dipped up there. So one thing I might want to do to know if I should get in right now is this. Okay, good. I will try to do something like this. Bring it up here. I know it has passed my Fibonacci, which is really brilliant. So I'll be looking for, all right, how far do I want this thing to go from here to here? You swung down there. So I believe that this thing is already close to a support level. So if I want to buy this now, if I really want to get into the buy, I will wait. Wait, let me put a little level around here, guys. So I will have a little level around this point here as a temporary support, just a watch support, a support of watch, just okay to watch if it will be broken. If I see a good rejection from here, I'm going to get in the buy almost as soon as I really see that, because I believe that, okay, for me, that's one of my own confirmations. So yeah, I think we are in a good buy position from this point that we're in, and we could buy in two ways. We long from when the market opens. If it doesn't break, we can see this red candle, in my opinion, just shows that when people withdrew from the market towards the end of the market, when people are closing, a lot of traders don't leave their account open during the weekend. I seldom, I mean, depending on how I'm trading, if I'm trading for weeks and stuff, I don't care because I checked the movement from a longer time frame. So the way to get in would be somewhat like this. When the market opens, let's see where the market opens at. If it's going to gap up a little bit, then that might just show that, okay, maybe it's strong indeed. But your trade can look somewhat like this, guys. If you're planning to get into this, your trade can look somewhat like that. We can have a good trade on a fair risk to reward. So if you do get into this trade, that would be some good moolah for you guys that do. And if this trend line gets broken, it means that we're going all the way up here and up here. When that's broken, but I think we're just generally in a buy. So let me zoom a little bit in. Let me take the pivot up so I can check anything else that I might be missing. So what else could be missing? What else am I not seeing? What else do you guys see that I need to see? Apart from a possible head and shoulder pattern that could be formed. You know, I told you about the head and shoulder pattern that could be formed. And we can see it clearly in this 15 minutes. You can see this clearly in 15 minutes. So let's say we want to pick the head and shoulder from here, this place being the left shoulder right here, I don't like these magnets sometimes. And this is the head right here, and we have my right shoulder right here. So aside the fact that there's a possibility that this thing will break this place that it is and come to feel this as a right shoulder, apart from that, right, what else do you guys see? what other pattern do you guys see? What other thing looks like, okay, I think I see a pattern. I think that's the only kind of pattern I see on this kind of short time frame. Let me zoom it out again. We can see that this is a support indeed. This is a support indeed. Okay. What else? What else do we see? That looks like it. Let me take this vertical line off eventually. Okay. Let's take it off eventually. Okay. All right. So what else do we see? I just see price. I see price going up from where it is. If it's not going to go up, then we'll come into test here. And if that's the case, if this gets broken, just wait. You want to wait and see when it touches this floor. When it touches this floor, then we'll buy back. Or we wait and see when it makes another reaction upon this trend line, then we'll see if this will be broken and then up. But this yellow line here is going to be my first target. It's going to be my the first place I'm looking at to buy this thing to. So let me know, guys, do you have any question? That's the pair I want to analyze with us today. I've gone over the other things that we're looking at. Let me take it back to what's it called? The dollar index. I'll put it in 1 hour. I'll return my pivot points. They're very important for me. And let me return it back to the dollar index, the DXY. So the DXY, let me move this thing up now since it's part of what I'm going to be trading for the week. I'm just trying to move it up, guys. Just trying to move it up. I have a lot of pairs, but not all of them do I trade. Okay. All right, good. So let me move it just above gold, and let me just put it down one bit. So let's see the DXY. This is the DXY right here. My DXY is around this trend line here. I'm hoping that if this gets broken here, if this is broken, then we're buying. If we're buying from there, then it means that we are good to buy this bad boy from where it is. It means that we're good to buy that bad boy from where it is. I think that the dollar index from where it is right now should begin to rise. I see how it closed, even though people were not ready, but it closed in green. The previous candle before then was a green. It couldn't break this my support right here. I see that it's made a good retracement here. So what I just want is for this to be broken. Another thing I might want is this, but that's not as important as this, my trend line being broken, because we're coming from this swing here. So one other thing I might want to see is this. I can bring my fibs right here, from here to this point. I see that it's past my golden ratio. I might want it to just cross 93.32 again. Once it crosses 93.32 again, and when I say again, I'm talking about this area here. I'm talking about this region right here. So I might want this region right here to be broken. And when that happens, then that gives me like, oh, good, let's buy. So our buy might be from above here. And if that is the case, then it means that EUR USD, you want to sell it. GBP USD, you want to sell it. USD CAD, you want to buy it. Though the movement might not be so much just here compared to EUR USD and GBP USD. And it means that the pair we just marked now, USDZAR, you want to buy it. One of the first places we'll be targeting might be this first place where it dropped. If that is broken, then we're looking further up. But yeah, for now, that's what our trade will be looking at. I feel strongly about this. It doesn't mean that we're right, but if we do check the news, if we go to what's been happening generally in the world, if you check, like last week, for example, the British pound was weak. This week, the US dollar, if the US dollar is strong and the British pound is still weak like it's been, then GBP USD should drop some more. We have a target of our low somewhere down there. EUR USD, we should start to sell. I don't think this thing is going back up from this place that I've marked as the resistance. I think from here we might see noise. Your money might just stay in one place for a long time. You know, you might not see that huge movement like we saw in this. But I think that huge movement is coming next week. We'll see down. When this is broken down, the same way it's been, the same way it went. You see the way it went down, all this down that it's been coming. So I think we should see some more of that. And this time around for USDZAR, we want to buy. So guys, any question? Let me know. Ask me. I'm here to answer. We have 9 minutes left on this particular second half. Any question you want to ask, whether you are a pro trader, whether you're a good trader, I'm just going to wait now for a couple of minutes to hear what you guys want to ask me. No question? None? If there's no
apart from Who Goes Way, what other trading platform do you suggest that we use? Because as a from the Who Goes Way, the what's it called? The withdrawal process is not so straightforward. Having to go through Bitcoin and all that, I don't find it too convenient.
You don't necessarily have to withdraw through what's it called though, through Bitcoin, but you can. There's quite a few other brokers that you can use. Some people use FX Choice. It just depends on. You're based in the United States, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Some people use FX Choice. I just recommend Google's because it has worked. It works for me. I don't have issues with that, But some people use FX Choice. Some people use E-Trade. They use it for stocks and for forex. Some people use there's one that Tolu told me. The one he uses for his stock, he has, I think it's Ameritrade.
Ameritrade.
Yeah, but I don't know if Ameritrade does. You should be able to open a forex account with that. But Ugo's Way is not the only. I mean, you just want to go with something that has been recommended at least. And
yes.
Personally, I haven't had a problem with them. Maybe some people add. I'm yet to hear. I don't trade like Bitcoin where the spread is so large. I don't trade some currencies where the spread is so. I trade currencies that they give me good spread for, and I'm happy with it. And but obviously at some point I'm going to change them. But I'm already looking at I think E-Trade has a good reputation as well. There's so many of them, bro. Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, I know that's a problem. There's so many of them, but I just want one that I've been
that
tested,
that
like you
is
said.
that is good, right? Okay.
Exactly,
Let,
exactly.
let's because bro, all those people they fit take person money, man.
Yep, yep. If you're not careful, and some of them, like for example, I tried to use one they call themselves Ally Bank. So when I try to do the forex with them, it turns out that they're not the ones handling the forex. They're they're outsourcing it to another company called forex.com. So now,
Oh, really?
yeah, now the problem with that uh, platform is you can't even edge. And you know what I mean when
Oh,
I say edge? Like when you buy
uh-huh.
and then you don't want to go out of your buy position, but you want to sell,
Uh-huh.
they don't allow you to do that.
Oh.
So that kind of messes you up, even though it was good while practicing, but once you want to get into, sometimes like you said, there might be it to come to a support and we know it's going to bounce up for a minute, so we can
Mm-hmm.
quickly do a scalp. You can't do it on that platform.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
read review on FX Choice. Read review on FX Choice and see if that might be something that you would like. Read
Oh, okay.
read on FX Choice. I know I have people that use FX Choice. I have a couple of friends that use FX Choice. They never complain to me about, but it would be advisable that you read the review and then ultimately make the decision. But like I
Okay.
said, Ugo's way had worked for me, and I know a little bit about FX Choice.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, my brother. Does anyone want to ask me anything else about the strategy? And if you're asking for my strategy, it's pretty easy. These are all the tools I use. Let me put this thing back. If you want to know what I use, let's go up here. Just before I answer anybody that might have a question, let's go up here. Let me put text. This is all that I use, guys. I use Trendline, very important. I use Fibonacci, very important. I use pivot points, very important. Pivot points high and low. I use the volume. I use volume just to see what's going on, where it's falling into, and how big the momentum might be. And outside of trend line, Fibonacci, pivot points, and volume, if you see me putting things like stochastic, MACD, if you see me putting if you see me putting, oh yeah, I do have moving average. I don't know if you guys saw that in, yeah, my moving average. I have a moving average 50 that I use. I use that to just for the momentum mainly. But if you see me using stochastic, MACD, if you see me using ISR, like all these other ones that is there, RSI. If you see me using the oscillator, all those ones temporarily, I'm just trying to get, oh, maybe I'm indecisive a little bit and I just want to pick a bias and I want those things to just guide me. But outside of this, outside of this, I don't trade much outside of it. Everything else is just, maybe I can just check the news and see what happened. But this is pretty much all I use to make my decision. It could be guided by what's happened in the news. It could be guided by the general trend and structure of the market. It could be guided by what I think the economy looks like. Generally, me going over some datas, but my technical analysis, I base them on this four, and they seem pretty effective to me as long as I get in trades that seem to have a higher reward to whatever I'm planning to risk. And I seem to get into trades at a pivot point, whether it's at a structure support, at the structure floor, or at the structure high, at the resistance. So That's it mainly for me, guys. Let me delete that and go back to where we were. Oh yeah, you can see my MA50. This green, this thing. Of course, it's showing red, which might be why I wouldn't want to get in right away until it turns green. But shit, it might not turn green until it's already past this my line. I would have missed this movement. So I can risk a little bit to get here. If this is broken, I can add more positions. Anything else, guys? We have less than 1 minute. Are we good to go?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
How do you determine what you look at? Like sometimes, let's say you put it to 4 hours, 1 week, and all that.
How do I decide what to look at?
Yeah.
Okay, for example, if I'm at a support, if I've picked I might not be able to finish this in this 1 minute. You might want to just text me on WhatsApp.
No problem.
You know, but how do I, if I feel that on my Fibonacci is at the floor, for example, right, this swing, this position to this position to this position, I see that we're around golden ratio. What it says to me is here might be a support. If this is a support, here might be a good place to buy. Then I want to zoom into it, right? And then when I zoom